To chapter 1.5, and I've got some great news. This will be a short video. It is a short topic here. Basically, the only thing you're going to need to know for this whole chapter is this little table. Okay? That's it. Okay? So what we're learning here is what's called a compound assignment operator or a compound assignment statement. All this means is it's a shortcut. All right, so we're just learning a little shorthand that works in Java. It's kind of nice to know. So we did this little example last chapter. So why would I start with 6? So if my score, I'm playing a game, my score is 0, I can say this. I can say score plus, score equal sign score plus 1, the semicolon at the end. Now what that'll do, this first line, right, will create a variable and it has the value 0. This second line will go and it'll say, we've got an expression on the right hand side of the equal sign there, right? Score plus 1. Well, if score is 0, score plus 1, 0 plus 1 is 1. So we're going to take that and going to put that into the score variable. Now, all we're learning in this little chapter here is these shorthands. Right? So I'm not going to write them all out. But here you go. All right, here's the table. What they're saying is that we've got a different way to type this. So what I just did, they're using the variable x. In my example, I use the variable score. Same idea. You can say x equals sign x plus 1, or you could say x plus sign equals sign 1. These will do the same thing. X plus plus is another way to do the same thing. So these 3 pieces of code all do the exact same thing. If you want to subtract 1 from a variable, you could do this here. So x equals x minus 1, x minus sign equals sign 1, x minus sign minus sign. Here, x equals x times 2. So if x was 5, this would make x equal to 5 times 2, which is 10. Same thing. So these 2 things do the same. This and this do the same. For divide, this percent sign thingy is the mod operator. Again, we're going to talk about that later. But you kind of get the idea, right? This is how you do a compound operator. Just another example, you can do something like score plus equals 100. If you wanted to add 100, you could say score minus equals 4. You could say score times equals 0.5. All right, put my semicolons here. Okay. So those are all valid things you can do. I just want to make it clear, like in this table, they were always using the number 1. I just want to make it clear that you can use whatever numbers you want. Okay. And then, yeah, plus plus and minus minus are probably the most common shortcut you'll actually use. A lot of situations in coding where you want to just add 1 to a number. And that's where I was using that word increment in the last video, and that's they call the plus plus the increment operator. Okay. Here is some code that you can play with where they're doing a bunch of these compound assignment statements. They have a little note here. Yeah, don't worry about that. All right, multiple choice question. Okay, so here they're bringing up this concept of code tracing. Code tracing, when I'm using the words, when I say stuff like, in your imagination, there's a little box, and the variable is called score, and in the box there's a 0. When I'm doing that, I'm giving you an example of code tracing, and I'm kind of saying that you're doing that in your imagination. So that's what you're often going to do when you're programming. Code tracing is a kind of a more formal way of doing that same thing where you literally draw boxes. We may or may not do some of that over the course of the year, depending on how we're feeling. But you literally will draw the boxes and you will kind of write out exactly what's happening in the computer as the program is going. So they just define that. They ask you to trace through some code. If you want to, you can. I honestly wouldn't worry about that one. Wouldn't worry about that. They got sections for instructors' feedback. I'm not looking at this. I don't even have an account, so it's all good. Anyways, I said this would be a short video, and that's because it is a short chapter, very short summary. The only thing you need to remember, and I'll probably make you guys make a note card for this or something, is this little table with the shortcuts. That's it. Easy chapter, hopefully, but it does at least help us review this stuff about assignments and variables and that kind of stuff. So that's all we got for chapter 1.5.